Well, we told you about this yesterday. We want to get into it more now. California passing a new law requiring police officers to only use lethal force when, quote, necessary.
It's a message to people all across this country that they can do more. One thing to sign a piece of paper, pass legislation. It's another to change hearts and minds, to change culture, to change the way people conduct themselves.
But with the public scrutinizing every single move officers make nowadays, are laws like California's keeping police from doing their jobs? Joining us now is former Westchester County Police Sergeant Steve Cardian, Blue Lives Matter NYC founder Joseph Imperatrice, and former NYPD Lieutenant Dr. Darren Porcher. Gentlemen, as always, whenever we do these segments, we certainly appreciate you being here and your insight. Steve, I'll start with you. You know, when you heard this from Governor Gavin Newsom, what did you make of this?
Well, he's trying to go back and tie the hands of law enforcement. He's not happy with, like, the Clark situation where he pulled up a cell phone and pointed it at the police officers. Them, in their minds, believing they were about to be fired on, returned fire, and now they're criticizing. He's trying to make it so that he can prosecute law enforcement and send them to jail.
60,211 officers assaulted while on duty. This is in 2017. Of course, we don't have the numbers for 2018 yet. That does take a while to get them completely compiled. So that's a look at some of the numbers there. That's a pretty strong number, Dr. Porcher. More than 60,000 in 1 year.
I agree. I mean, I look at what the dangerous precedent that's being set by liberal politicians is causing officers to become more regressive. And I give you an example of what happened in New York City a couple of weeks ago. You had officers that had water dumped on them, and their action was merely to walk away as opposed to turn around and take action. And this is a result of these regressive policies that we see that are being implemented in California.
Dr. Porcher, what happens when an officer is on the job and is in a situation where this officer is then having to second guess their next move?
That's when an officer puts themselves in a dangerous position, when they do have to second guess their moves. What happens is, oftentimes, as an active police officer, you're making split-second decisions that are life and death. You're either protecting yourself or someone else. But when that officer takes a second to regress, that can ultimately lead to the demise of not just the officer, but the public in hand as well. Therefore, we need to focus on a strategy that's more conducive to protecting the public, but not assaulting the public as well.
Right. Let's talk about this. In Phoenix, police must now self-report whether they point a gun at someone, whenever they point a gun at someone. So I don't know. You guys tell me. Have you guys had to do this? Have you had to do this before? Have you ever had to self-report if you've ever pointed a gun?
You know, there could be a time you don't draw your weapon for many weeks or months.
Yeah.
There could be several times in an evening that you do. If you just draw the weapon to protect yourself, typically what's happened before, you don't have to report it. Now they want to hear about it. And it's going to make a difference. It's going to cause officers to react less, as Dr. Porcher had said. They're going to tie the hands. It's going to make them underreact and make them think that, well, I got to back off, and it's going to cause hesitation. It's going to cause lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary when you think about it, second guessing, when you think about causing hesitation, when you think about the fallout of what could happen. Dr. Porcher, Joey, Steve, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
And for everything you've done for our communities.
Thank
Todd?
you.
Great panel, Jillian. Thank you so much. Meantime, at